All right, let's do this. Hello, my friends. I am wanting to talk to you today. It is our weekly little meeting that we have. Um, I am having a fabulous day. I just got off of work and now I'm home. I've had dinner and doing all of the things that you are supposed to do after work. So, I wanted to take out a few minutes to talk to you guys about emotions. In school, they teach you how to do math, they teach you how to read, they teach you how to write, they teach you how to um, well, they teach you about history, they teach you scientific facts, but one thing they don't teach you how to do is to handle your emotions. Now, that seems like not that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal because there are so many grown-ups in this world, not to mention teenagers, not to mention younger kids, that absolutely do not know how to express their emotions. And so it's important that we learn how. And I want to share with you today how to do that. The title of this one is If I Shake You Up, What Comes Out is what was already in there. What that is referring to is you're like a can of Coke, any carbonated drink, but a Coke. And if you shake up a can of Coke and that pressure gets too big inside, it explodes and everything that's inside of it comes out. And so the same thing happens to you. If you are bottling things up inside, you're not dealing with emotions, and all of a sudden you are shaken up by someone else. In other words, they are, you know, kind of pushing your buttons. All of a sudden you explode, and everything that you've been keeping in there, building up, comes out. And usually it's pretty messy. Um, a lot of times we're taught not to express our emotions. I know that kids that, talk a lot are always told, stop talking. You're supposed to sit still in school. You're supposed to stay in your little box, not interrupt anybody else's learning. Um, and so if you're getting angry, then they're trying to have you not be angry. If you're sad, they're trying to have you not be sad. Don't cry. Don't cry. That doesn't help anything. Just tampering. And guys, I'm totally guilty of saying the same things um, myself because we're not taught how to deal with emotions. And so the way we tend to deal with them is how our parents teach us to deal with them. And for some people, that means screaming and yelling when you're mad. For some people, that means being even keel and calm all the time and never showing any emotion. There's lots of different ways. But I want you to be able to understand your emotions so that when somebody shakes you up, you don't explode with all of your negative emotions. Um, if you listen to the first two episodes, you know that your thoughts create your feelings. And so that right there, we talked about how you get to choose your thoughts or you just pick one that comes to you. It's what creates that emotion inside of you. And here's a really weird definition of feelings. All they are a vibration in your body. Now, it took me a long time to figure out when somebody told me that what the heck they were talking about. I'm like, a vibration in my body. When I'm happy, I'm not like, so it took me a while to figure it out. But I started sitting still. when I was having a big emotion, and I would just think, oh, geez, I'm having an emotion. And I would sit still and just feel, okay, I can feel that tightness right there in my chest and like anxiety. That one's a big one, um, a lot of times for me. And I can feel my shoulders tensing up and my neck gets very stiff and very still, and I don't move a lot. And just this overall tenseness. And sometimes I can feel the heat rising up through my neck into my face. Um, Emotions are different for everyone. Everybody experiences emotions differently. But all it is, literally, is a vibration in your body. If you think about a little alien dude that's come to our planets and he has no emotions, he doesn't know, what the heck they are and why we do such incredibly crazy things sometimes because of our emotions. He wants to know what the heck, what would make you act that way. Um, and if you try to explain your emotions, the physical reaction inside of your body of an emotion, then all of a sudden you realize, okay, well, if the worst that can happen is that emotion, then there's no emotion that I need to be afraid of. And if you really explain it to the little alien, you're like, wow, why do we act so large off of a vibration, a literal vibration in our body? Fear is a huge one. People avoid doing things like crazy because they're afraid. It's just a feeling. It is a feeling, guys. That's it. And if you can learn not to be afraid of being afraid, then you can conquer the world. There's nothing out there that you can't do. So, the other morning I woke up and it was almost like just a veil came over me because I had been rejected. And rejection is a thing for me back from when I was a teenager that I was huge rejected and it just felt awful. And I woke up the other morning and ooh, I did some crazy stuff to my hair. Um, the other morning I woke up and I felt that rejection and it felt like I just didn't even want to get out of bed. It was so overwhelming. And then I remembered it's just a feeling and it will move on. I'm just going to let it happen, let it do its thing, and then it will move out of my body and we'll be done with that. And sure the heck enough, that's exactly what happened. I felt very rejected and hurt, and I just let it be there and I was thinking about it. Okay, it's tight in my chest. It's almost like my heart is being smashed by an elephant. Um, I was thinking those things, and then it just was gone. And that was it. I handled that emotion. Now, if I had tried to fight it and been like, no, I was not rejected, I will not feel that, all it would have done is make that emotion bigger inside of me. Or if I had done what I usually do and stuffed it down, then I wouldn't deal with it and it would still be sitting there. So later, when something else happened and something else happened and something else happened, and then somebody shook me up, that rejection, that anger, that sadness, all of it just comes boiling out of my mouth. And I totally react to whatever the situation is. That is not how to get things that you want in this world. You can't shove them down and ignore them. You can't avoid them. You can't sit there and it's called buffering. You can't try to, you know, just distract yourself with video games or apps or reading or eating or all the things that people use to do anything except pay attention to that emotion. So we as a society think that we're supposed to be happy all the time and that, if you're not happy, you're not doing something right. Well, that's not true. Life is 50-50, and you're supposed to have half crappy emotions as well as half great, fabulous emotions. Um, if someone dies, we don't want to feel happy about it. Grief and sadness and anger it's all part of our life as well. One of the animals is doing something. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Hopefully not. What else? So what we end up doing is we try to resist those emotions. We try to avoid the emotions, and we often react to other people's words with our emotions. That's not what we want to do. We want to just allow the emotion. Now, if I'm allowing anger, that does not mean that I need to say to the person in front of me, um, something mean, something rude, something awful because I'm mad. I don't need to say anything to them. It doesn't have to show on my face. It usually does on mine because you can read everything on my face. But you don't have to, but you have to feel it. I might walk away from whatever I'm angry about, you know, or if I'm angry about something totally different, but now I'm over here in this situation, I often say, look, I'm angry right now. I'm not ready to do this. I need to calm down first. And so then you just let it. You just let that anger be there until it doesn't need to be there anymore. And sometimes it just fizzles out. Sometimes it comes back later. And you're like, okay, come on, anger, come with me because we've got to drive home now, or we've got to go to work now, or we've got to whatever. But I don't try to keep it in a bottle, because when I try to keep those big emotions in the bottle, somebody comes and shakes me up, then I explode. Um, so society pretty much tells us keep your emotions totally level, kill, even, and we learn to shove them down or to pretend like we don't have them at all. I remember when I first started doing this exercise, it was hard to even, like, happy? That's happy. No, it's not happy. Um, a genuine emotion, you have to start paying attention to actually feel them. Some of you feel them so big, you're not going to have to sit around and wonder, happy. Hey, yeah, some of you still have huge emotions that you can feel, but you've got to process those feelings. So let me go back over what we've talked about. We talked about it that it's just a vibration. It's nothing to be afraid of. We tend to avoid, resist, or react to our emotions, and we don't have to do that. We just have to allow it. And we want to be the observer in our brain and observe those physical sensations that we are getting during an emotion. And we're going to put names to it. This is happy, this is sad, this is mad. And you can ask yourself questions in your head, because if you're sitting around a bunch of other people and you're like, what am I feeling? They might think you're kind of weird, which is fine too if they want to think you're weird. But most of us would be asking these questions in our head. What am I feeling? Where is that in my body? Do not have judgment over your emotions. That judgment comes from the way we've been taught how to handle our emotions. And most of us have not been taught with any sort of preciseness or clarity of how to handle those emotions. And so we judge emotion. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't scream. You shouldn't throw yourself on the floor. Of course, I kind of agree with that one. But wouldn't it be funny if we all did every time we got mad? But we should be able to process that without judging ourselves. Don't react. If you have an emotion that's too big, sit with it, allow it, observe it. Your brain can watch it and see how it flows in your body. You guys, this is the most important skill that you can ever learn to do. Because when life gets hard, and it does, definitely, if you can be an emotionally mature person, then you will win over everyone and everything just because you can make decisions without losing your mind. Somebody shakes you up, you've got nothing left inside because you've already worked through all of the anger, all of the sadness, all of the rejection, all of the embarrassment. It's gone. And so there's not enough in there for you to explode. You've dealt with all the others, and now you're just going to deal with the one that's right in front of you. That would be a cattail. On that note, I hope you understand the importance of dealing and learning to allow your own emotions, and start watching other people too. It's very interesting to watch. You can see how people have learned to deal with their emotions, and usually it's not the best way. So start watching. If you need my help, if you need someone to talk to and work with, I am a certified life coach. All you need to do is message me, um, depending on where you found this video. If you can't figure out how to message me, go to my website. It's angelanewberry.com. That's ANGELANEWBERRY.com. And you'll easily be able to contact me through my website. So if you need help, ask for it. I'll be happy to help you out. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.